All right, konnichiwa. Hello, one and all. Ken Sotaku is here with you today with a little bit of a different video. Actually, first video I've uploaded for a while. Um, Showing off a few things I've got lately, adding to my collection of random graded things. Uh, Jumped into comics out of the blue. I'm not sure what really convinced me to do it. Uh, Watching a few things on YouTube every once in a while and seeing a few different places where people are shopping and seeing graded comics and getting some nice ones. So it's like, oh, I'll check the wonderful world of eBay, see what they got available. And yeah, I got about half a dozen of them. So I'll show those off here. Starting off, going for one, first appearance of a superhero or, first appearance of any comic book character. Definitely there's some expensive ones out there. I went with one that's probably the more affordable out of all of them. You can kind of see me in the reflection there, but yeah, Spawn #1 from Image Comics, May 92. It was graded a 9.8, and it's CGC. I know there's other comic grading companies out there, but I know CGC is one of the top ones. And as you can see there, it says first appearance of Spawn. And yeah, 9.8 is usually pretty good grade. I think there are some that are higher than that. And like I said, this one uh, for a first appearance was probably more affordable than most others. I think I got this one on an auction around 140 to 150. Get to see the back of it there. All the stuff that was available for sale back in 92. Yeah, this one I think, yeah, 140, 150. That's pretty cheap compared to some others. Like if you want to get a first appearance of Superman or Batman or Spider-Man, you're gonna be spending a heck of a lot more than that. But yeah, to get a very nice comic like this, I'm pretty happy with that. Um, I think there are some lower grade ones that go for a little less, and there are some higher grade ones that definitely go for a lot more. I think there's ones that are even signed by the creator, is it Todd McFarlane? I'm yeah, Todd McFarlane. Some that are signed by him that go for double that. But yeah, I always like Spawn. I even like the movie. I think I was more interested in the movie than I found out about the comics and whatnot. But yeah, Spawn's always been an interesting comic book character. Um, Definitely more affordable trying to get a first appearance for that. And well, speaking of superheroes, I want to get something Batman related, and there's thousands upon thousands of comics. So I went with one that's a little bit different, but I thought was actually really neat. And this one was a little bit on the pricier side. Well, about the same as the Spawn one, but I think it was worth it. And this one is the official motion picture adaptation of Batman '89. You can see it says DC Comics '89, and very fascinating artistic cover there with Batman, and you got the silhouette of Jack Nicholson's Joker in the background there, one of my favorite Jokers of all time. And yeah, 9.8 grade on that one. And you could see, back then, you know, it was $4.95, and it's the entire movie in comic form. So on the back there, you could see, little, you know, parts from the comic. You got Bruce, love interest, I guess, Alfred. And yeah, it says it's from 1989. I'm assuming that's right. I could not tell you. And the thing is like it's technically comic, but it's a little thicker than that. I don't know if you consider it a visual novel or what. And yeah, it's got this hashtag, or not numbered, I guess is what that would mean. Prestige format. But yeah, got the Batman there. So yeah, I was thinking about getting something that was like maybe a first appearance of Scarecrow, which I think those are still even expensive, and older comics. Um, I don't know. I was kind of looking for ones too that had a better looking like covers that stood out, because you're not gonna be able to open these up, well, unless you want to break them, but open them up and look at them. So I was looking for ones that had covers that really stood out. So that was why this was a obvious choice, because you know Batman '89, one of the best Batman movies, and yeah, get to see those people on there. So that was pretty cool. Uh, Next one here is a little different, because one, I don't know the artist, the person who wrote the story. I don't know anything about this comic. Um, but I don't know if I could really. I'm really doing a great job of showing this off. Okay, so this is Stray Dogs, Dog Days #1. It's a 9.8 from Prideland Comics. Um, so the thing about this one, which is a little interesting, is that the uh, this comic had different variations to it. They did different covers, so um, they doing it based off of iconic horror films. I don't know if it's going to spoil it on the back here or not. I don't think it says anything on there. Another 9.8, so really good grade. You can see the Prideland Comics on the back there. But for this one in particular, well, I'll just go ahead and show it here. They went with the homage to the cover art of the Saw 3 films. So instead of teeth hanging there, it's dog tags. So I thought that was really neat, and of course, like I said, for a cover that really stands out, that was one that definitely stood out for me. And yeah, like I said, I don't know anything about the comic. I'm sure it's actually pretty good, but yeah, just to have one like this that's paying homage to one of my favorite horror franchises of all time, and doing it in a style like that, it's pretty clever. Now, those were some of the, I think some of the first ones I got from eBay auctions. And like I said, originally I was just browsing around, seeing what was ending in auctions, fairly soon, and what ones were standing out the most to me. And then I got into the mistake of looking up as far as certain movies go. And well, here's an interesting tidbit here. The the likable handyman Teddy from the Fox show Bob's Burgers, him and I could not be any more different from one another. He's a handyman, I'm not. I'm real, and he's not. But one thing that we do have in common is that we both like the movie The Dark Crystal. And he says that in an episode, so go check that out if you don't believe me. But anyway, yeah, I happened to find a couple things related to the Dark Crystal, and I went down a rabbit hole I shouldn't have. So I found a few Dark Crystal related ones that I just had to grab. Um, First one here is The Power of the Dark Crystal, issue #1, another 9.8 from, well, if it'll focus here, Archaea, I'm butchering the name, Archaea Entertainment from February of 17. And yeah, Dark Crystal. So this is, I'm assuming, like a spin-off or continuation of the story of the Dark Crystal, because this came out before Age of Resistance, but after the original story, obviously. But you got nice artwork there. You got the Dark Crystal. Um, the characters I cannot think of the names for life of me except for Fizzgig, the little fuzzball right there. But yeah, this one I saw, and the one thing about getting into comics is you find a first edition or issue one, I should say. I don't even know if how many editions this would even have, but yeah, issue one, and then get it and find out, oh yeah, one of 12, and I think this one might not have been too bad. I think it's like $50 or so. Um, yeah, all the comics I got, I think the cheapest was like maybe $40, and the most expensive was 150. So between those for all these ones I've got so far, which is not bad at all. But yeah, I found out, yeah, that's got 12 in it. I don't think I'm gonna go for a full series in this one. There is a rendition of Age of Resistance that I don't have yet. I would like to get issue one, so I'm looking out for that one right now. Even though, like I said, I've already gotten half a dozen comics, and yeah, it adds up pretty quickly. And still can't stack those right. All right. So yeah, I found the power of the Dark Crystal, and then like I said, I knew there was Age of Resistance. I dug a little deeper and found out that they actually did ones way back in the day when the movie first came out, and they were done by none other than Marvel Comics. As you can see with the little Spider-Man logo there. And yeah, this is Dark Crystal #1 from Marvel Comics, released in April of '83, so even before I was born. It's a 9.4, but at that point I was like, I just saw it. It's like, I just need to have it. I don't care what the grade is. And yeah, very stylized cover there. I love the Dark Crystal logo here. And yeah, it's a movie adaptation. And you can kind of see like a sign of the times, like it's only 60 cents or 25 pence in the UK or 75 in Canada. And of course, when the Marvel Comics was founded, which I think is 63 there. And another sign of the times, you look at the back here, it's advertising, well, it's a Parker Brothers game. Does it say? Oh, Atari. Yeah, an Atari video game there. Yeah, very old stuff there. But yeah, that's one nice thing about comics is like sometimes on the backs of them that you got an advertisement to show like what was popular at the time. So yeah, back then in '83, Atari 2600 was one of the big things before the video game crash. So yeah, I found that on one of the eBay auctions. Was really happy, but then I learned shortly after, it's like, you know what? #1 is okay, but did you know that it's only a 2-issue series? So I had to go out and find an auction for #2. Another beautiful rendition of the title there. And yeah, Dark Crystal 2 for Marvel Comics, released in May of '83, so 1 month after the first one. And of course, should have been a sign that only a 2-part series, because with this one it has the image of our lead character with the shard of the Dark Crystal getting ready to put it back in place to wrap up the story. And you got those prices again. And yeah, this one's a 9.6, so a little bit nicer, which, for comics that are, I guess technically now they are 40 years old now. Is it really? Yeah, because, yeah, 4 years before I was born, and I'm 36 now, so yeah, 40 years. Wow. But to keep something like this in such decent condition, a 9.6, yeah, but still, that's not bad compared to, some comics, that might have came out like 5-10 years ago, are probably in much worse shape than this. And of course, the advertisement on the back of this one, we got some Star Wars Jedi Arena, another Parker Brothers game for the Atari. Well, is this one Atari? Sure, we'll say it is. But yeah, you know, high end graphics there. That's so realistic. So yeah, uh, my little adventure dabbling into graded comics. This is all in the course of like a week. So got a little crazy with that, but I like them. Very neat to see. I don't know where I'll be putting them. I'd like to display them somewhere because, like I said, I was going for ones that either stuff that I really liked or ones that had covers that stood out to me, like that Stray Dogs. If there was any others that I would get, it'd be ones that I remember from my childhood. One that I personally owned was a Sonic the Hedgehog comic with Dr. Robotnik on the cover. In his, I can't remember what Robo Robopopolis or whatever it was. Some you know place that was polluted and covered in grime, and I do see it pop up on eBay every once in a while. But those Sonic comics graded are oddly more expensive than any others for whatever reason. Might be just because it's an Archie Comics, which more notable company. Other than that, two that I remember from my grandparents. You know, my uncle had some stuff that they left at their place, and I remember seeing them growing up. They might still be around somewhere. I think we might have kept them. I honestly couldn't tell you where, but they were A Man Called Nova issue number one. So that one's a little more interesting and you know a little older, so a little more value to it. And the other one was Red Sonia, which is like a female barbarian comic, and this lady wearing bikini chainmail, so you can imagine how interesting that looks. But those would be ones that I wouldn't mind trying to get a CGC graded copy of at some point. Obviously, uh, probably shouldn't anytime soon because of how much I've spent on these so far. Uh, but if anything else, I would at least like to get the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance issue number one, and then I'd probably call it good. But yeah, that's what I've been, you know, splurging on a little bit over the last week or two. Just getting a few things here, decent grades on these. Um, Obviously, just buying them straight off of eBay, so someone else had graded them. But uh, what can I say? CGC's been pretty good for me so far. So adding these to my collection of various things graded by CGC on top of the video games and cards I've got. And well, speaking of that, in a month or so, I'll have some more CGC and automated graded system or robo grading cards to show off. I just submitted about 100 between both companies. Gonna get them shipped out on Monday, and yeah, probably within 20 to 30 days, I'll have another video here to show off some new graded cards. A little bit of everything from Dragon Ball to Sword Art Online, Japanese cards to Digimon and Pokemon. Uh, a lot that I'm keeping for myself, and some pretty nice ones that I'll probably sell at some point. But you'll just have to stick around to see that. But until then, I do want to thank you for watching almost 20 minutes of me rambling about nonsense. I do hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I will see you later and take care.